Let's be real, loyalty in hip-hop is kind of a joke. 1 minute fans are calling someone the GOAT, the next they're dragging them over a leaked snippet or a bad verse. Some fan bases will switch up the second the vibes change. Others, they'll defend their favorite like it's a full-time job, no matter how far off the rails things get. So, what's the difference? What makes one group loyal to the grave and another flip like a light switch? Today we're ranking 6 major hip-hop fan bases, from the quickest to abandon ship, to the ones that will go down with it. Let's break it down. Drake fans love him, until, well, they don't. Every release kicks off the exact same cycle. First there's hype, then confusion, then the memes roll in, and after a few years, you'll hear those same fans say, actually, it aged kinda well. They stream everything, sure, but they rarely stand by anything. The moment he drops a weird accent, sings a little too much, or experiments just a bit too far, they're out. And honestly, the meme culture around Drake doesn't help either.
Anita Maxwin.
Every new album gets chopped up into punchlines the second it drops. The whole Drake the type of guy to meme makes a comeback, and clips of him dancing or trying something new go viral before the album even finishes its first spin. Twitter, or X I guess, floods with posts about how he's lost it, only for those same people to claim he's back a month later. Even on tour, fans show up heavy, but if he skips the Take Care or Nothing Was the Same classics, they start complaining. They want nostalgia Drake. That's the version they fell in love with, and they expect to get it every single time. So why does this keep happening? Well, it's because Drake is pop level famous. His fan base is wide, like massive, but it's not exactly deep. Casual fans don't really have the patience for reinvention. They're not looking for growth. They want mood music, Instagram captions, and consistency. Loyalty? Yeah, that doesn't really describe them. They're more like seasonal subscribers. Now, to be fair, there are fans who genuinely appreciate his range. Some still argue that Honestly Nevermind was a misunderstood house pop gem, and they'll defend it all day. But a lot of people, they just want Marvin's Room on repeat. The switch up always comes when the vibes shift just a little too far. Frank Ocean fans are deeply passionate. Like, not just regular music fans, we're talking full-on poets. Super attached, super invested, but they're also kind of on the edge, like dangerously close to a breaking point. One bad live show, they turn. A delay in music, they start spiraling. That Coachella set, yeah, that was the moment. What was supposed to be this big emotional comeback just ended up breaking a lot of hearts. Twitter was a mess. People were posting crying videos, long disappointment threads, and jumping straight into the "he owes us" talk fast. The memes shifted overnight. 1 minute it's Frank is a genius, next it's full-blown group therapy. And on Reddit, people were half joking that being a Frank fan feels like dating someone who's emotionally unavailable. Like, it's funny, but it's also kind of real. And look, this is why fans act like that. Frank doesn't give us anything to hold on to. No teasers, no surprise singles, no IG lives, no interviews, nothing. So when something finally happens, it feels huge. And if it doesn't hit just right, it's a crash. His music is so personal and layered that people attach their own lives to it. Being a Frank fan honestly feels spiritual until it starts to feel like you're just being ignored. That deep emotional connection turns into burnout if it drags on too long. They're loyal for sure, but once that loyalty starts feeling one-sided, that's when the chaos kicks in. Travis fans used to be a full-blown cult, like ride or die, no questions asked. Now they're more cautiously optimistic. Back when Astroworld dropped, he could do no wrong. LaFlame was basically a rave god. Everything he touched felt larger than life. But then Utopia came out, and that's where things got complicated. Twitter had a full-on civil war. Half the fan base was calling it Travis at his creative peak, the other half making memes about how the second half of the album felt like a Cardi cosplay. His live shows still go hard, they always will, but even fans will quietly admit it doesn't feel quite like the pre-2021 era. The Astroworld tragedy left a real scar, and whether people say it out loud or not, it changed the way some fans connect with him. There was a time when his merch drops felt like Supreme. People were going nuts just to cop a hoodie. Now, the hype is still there, but it's cooled off. People aren't foaming at the mouth like they used to. His brand is evolving, and honestly, so is his fan base. They don't move like a hype cult anymore, they move like investors. They're still here, still tuned in, but they're watching the charts, watching the headlines, kind of keeping one foot out the door just in case. They haven't jumped ship, not yet, but the love, yeah. It's not blind anymore. One more mid-album and a few of them are going to pivot to Cardi like none of this ever happened. Okay, now moving to Kanye himself. Nobody's been through more emotional abuse than Kanye fans, seriously. He's dropped straight-up classics, turned to gospel, gone on wild political rants, and sparked headlines that make you double-check your screen. And yet, somehow, his fans always find a way to say, he's just misunderstood. The whole old Kanye versus new Kanye meme, that's been around since Yeezus. At this point, every album rollout feels like an obstacle course. You've got stadium live streams, endless delays, tracks that sound half-finished, and still, the second he breathes on a beat, people are like, nah, this is art, this is different. His fans argue like it's a courtroom, whole Twitter threads trying to justify whatever wild thing he just did. And even when there's no defending it, they'll hit you with the classic,
but musically, he's still a genius.
And honestly, here's the thing. Kanye fans don't just love him. They love the myth of him, the idea of Kanye, the tortured genius, the unfiltered visionary. They're still holding on to The College Dropout, Graduation, 808s. Those albums live rent-free in their hearts. Even when he drops stuff like Donda 2 exclusively on a $200 stem player, they pull up. Even when he's out here sparring with entire communities online, they're still like, yeah, but the music. It's not really loyalty. It's nostalgia with a side of denial. But hey, they're still here, and whether that's love, delusion, or both, it still counts for something. Okay, now holding off the second place are Kendrick fans. Kendrick fans are different. They're committed, almost academically. Every verse gets analyzed like scripture. Every pause is treated like meditation. Even when Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers left casual listeners confused, the real fans, they wrote essays defending the storytelling. You don't see Kendrick fans making memes to clown him. Instead, they're on TikTok breaking down rhyme schemes, catching hidden metaphors, connecting dots you didn't even know were there. And when he disappears for years at a time, they just say, he's living life, let him cook. They still quote To Pimp a Butterfly like it's gospel. They treat his Pulitzer like it was a Grammy for the entire culture. Because to them, Kendrick's not just a rapper. He's intentional. He doesn't overexpose himself. Every move feels curated, like it's part of a bigger plan. So fans, they give him the benefit of the doubt. They believe there's a deeper reason behind everything he does. Sure, some might quietly admit they missed the bangers. They might whisper about wanting another damn, but disrespect him, say he fell off? Never. It's not just hype, it's reverence. You'd have to pry that loyalty out of their cold, analytical hands. Now a rapper with the most amount loyal fan base got to be Tyler. They've followed him through it all. Neo-soul, romantic heartbreak, even spoken word poetry layered over synths. No other fan base embraces complete sonic reinvention the way Tyler's does. He could drop a 12-minute flute solo tomorrow and the fans would call it genre-defying. And honestly, they'd mean it. When Cherry Bomb dropped and critics panned it, fans stood by it. They defended the chaos. When Igor came out and he fully ditched rapping, they hailed it as his best work. Tyler's fans are emotionally in sync with his evolution. They feel the shifts right along with him. On social media, they're the first to shut down any hate. On tour, they're screaming every word, whether it's a soft love song or a bar about setting the world on fire. Their loyalty isn't blind, it's rooted in deep understanding and acceptance. They love who he is, not just what he makes. And it's more than music. There's a whole world Tyler's created. An aesthetic, a culture, a vibe. From Golf Wang to Camp Flognaw, fans feel like they're part of something bigger. They're not just listening to albums, they're living inside a universe. They don't just support his growth, they expect it. They want the weird, the bold, the unexpected. This isn't casual fandom. This is real loyalty, the highest tier. And honestly, if we're talking about who has the most loyal fan base in rap right now, it's Tyler, hands down. He's not just at the top musically, He's sitting on a throne built by unwavering ride or die support.